In a previous video, I talked about why I wanted to build this PVC instrument. Well, some people call it a tubulum, some people call it rimba tubes, or it could be a PVC marimba. But anyway, I talked about why I wanted to build it, the inspiration I had from the Blue Man Group. If you'd like to see that video, I'm going to put a link in the description so you can go check it out. This is the first part of the video series. In this one, I'm going to be building the frame that holds all the PVC pipes. In the second part of the video series, I'll be building the PVC pipes themselves. And then we'll see how many more it takes. I've still got a few things I've got to do here, but at this point, I just want to get the frame video done and get the PVC pipe video released. Now, the overall design for this project isn't mine. I didn't create this, didn't come up with it. I'll put a link to the YouTube video in the description where I kind of got the overall build for this. I'll also put a link to the PDF file that they provided, which gave quite a bit more descriptions as far as how to make each cut, as far as the links for each pipe, how to put it together. It's a little bit hard to follow, at least for me it was. But anyway, I'll put that in the description so you can check it out. To start this off, I'll need to secure some plywood. I went to the big orange box store. Man, plywood's gotten so expensive. There were some cheaper options, around 50 or 55 bucks. But I wasn't really impressed with the quality. Even though I'm painting this, I decided to go at least up to the Sandy plywood. It was 65 bucks a sheet. I could have went for $15 more and gotten oak or birch, but the quality didn't seem to look that much better. And again, I'm painting it anyway. I don't need stain quality. Now that I've got the plywood at home, I'll need to cut it into manageable pieces with my circular saw and a straight edge. A track saw is pretty high on my list of wants. Problem is, my list of wants way outweighs my budget. Anyhow, now that I've got the plywood cut down to some smaller manageable pieces, I'll finish off the cuts with the table saw. Up until this point, I didn't ever realize that I didn't own a tape measure with metric numbers on it. And obviously, I don't metric very well. I printed out part of the PDF file, and then I'm running conversions between imperial and metric. This is not ideal, and it does lead to some confusion, which you'll see in a bit. I drew the lines where the holes would go on the top piece. I got off a bit when I was marking the hole centers. I had to redo the lines. I guess the old saying is measure many, many times and cut once, but at least I didn't drill the holes until I had it measured out correctly. So I now pulled out my box of hole saws. But even though I've got every other size imaginable, I didn't seem to have a 2 3/8 inch hole saw. So it was off to the big blue box store. New hole saw and arbor ready to go. The arbor, or is that mandrel, is quick change. I don't need any tools to change the hole saw. You can see as I turn it, it kind of locks the hole saw into place. I made a test hole in some scrap wood. This way I could test fit the PVC pipe and made sure it fit perfectly. I wanted it loose enough to fit in, but then tight enough to create a friction fit. I'm drilling pilot holes with a countersink bit. It is much easier to line up this bit than trying to line up the hole saw when the hole saw itself is blocking your view. Going to do a quick cleanup with the dust collector. Now I'm using the hole saw. Now I'm only going halfway through the wood. I'll complete the cut from the other side in just a bit. Now with the board flipped over, I'll complete the cut on the holes. Now, the reason why I like to do these using the hole saw is two passes. I do one from the underside, go about halfway through, and then I complete the cut going the other direction. There's two reasons I do that. The first reason is it minimizes tear out. You know, using this going down, there's almost no tear out. But if I was coming up through the wood, well, going down through, coming through this side from the other end, it would do a lot of tear out right here. So I minimize tear out, but the bigger reason is just it's so easy-ish to pop those out of there. You know, and I know they've got the little things here that you can supposedly squeeze it out, but it's really, even that is difficult because, you know, you got to have two things. If you try to do it from just one side, you're going to push it at an angle and make it even harder to get out. So when these are only halfway sticking in there, it's definitely a lot easier to get them removed. All right, so I'm going to start putting the frame together. Just as simple as put a little glue on it. I'm going to use the corner clamps there to hold it in place, make sure I'm getting a good right angle. And then I'm just going to shoot it from the bottom with some brad nails just to hold it until I can, you know, get the whole thing together. Once the glue dries, I'll get both sides done. Let the glue set a little bit, and then I'll put the bottom on. Now, of course, you know, make sure, especially when you're turning this over to put holes in it, make sure you have it the right direction. Like this is down. The up part will be, well, the up part to the right will be over here. So once I flip it over. So I'm going to go ahead and get the 4 pieces of the frame put together. I didn't cut the brace pieces to the exact size yet. I'm going to get it all put together and then measure it to make sure it's the size that it said in the instructions. I'll put the frame together using these corner clamps. Now these are red ones, but they're not the red ones. You know, the ones that you see every other big woodworker on YouTube using. The ones that they display on their back wall behind them. That's not what mine are. Mine are much less expensive. And I'll put an Amazon associate link in the description if you'd like to look for a set for yourself. While this glue is drying, I'm going to go ahead and hit them with some brad nails just to hold it in place good. Once I get the whole frame assembled, I'll probably put the squares back on it and then actually put some real screws into it. But just for now, I'm going to be, you know, having to flex this a little bit to get everything lined up, you know, top and bottom all the way around. So I'm going to wait until the whole thing's put together. Then I'm going to square it really well and get some actual screws in it. But for now, it's just going to have glue and some brad nails to hold it together until then. I'm just going to secure the frame with some brad nails. And I'm just going to repeat for the bottom part. Off camera, I added some brace pieces. I'm just going to pre-drill and add some screws. This frame is going to carry a lot of weight. I'm afraid it will need a bit more than just glue and brad nails. Now I'm going to need to add the front brace and L bracket for a little more stability. All right, now let's go ahead and get this one screwed together. And then I'm just going to have to cut the L channel here to get it in there. Now that that's piece right here. So now I've got this piece right here. I just need to secure it to both this piece of wood and to the top. And that'll definitely give it some sturdiness there. It's going to have to carry a lot of weight with all the PVC sitting on it. There's 32 total tubes of different lengths. So it's going to carry quite a bit of weight. This will definitely help keep it from sagging. All right, so I've got some screws and washers here. I'm going to secure this as best I can on both sides here. These are tiny little screws, but I just want to make sure I didn't end up going through the wood over the other side. All right, we got it mostly painted. Not perfect. I still got some touch up to do. A few spots in the corners I couldn't get to very well with the brush I had. Of course, the brush was older and started coming apart. So anyway, I'm gonna have to clean it up a little bit tomorrow. But I swore I bought a brush when I was at Lowe's earlier, but I can't find it now. So I'm guessing I didn't buy one. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna let this set overnight and get dry, and then I'll come out in the morning and start putting some of the tubes together. Okay, there you have it. We got the frame completed. That was the end of part 1 of this video series. We'll get to part 2 later, and in part 2, we're going to actually cut all the PVC, get it put together, and I've still got a few more things to do, but we'll get all that done. I appreciate you guys watching. If y'all have any questions or comments, please leave them. Y'all have a great day.